good afternoon, or whatever time of day you're watching this, and welcome to Toria's Cozy Toes. This is episode 7 of my podcast. So I'm Vicky. I'm a knitter and a crocheter living in Derby in the United Kingdom. Places you can find me were listed down below on the description box. But I do have an Instagram account, and I'm as Toria's Cozy Toes, and I'm on Ravelry as Vicky the Terror. There's also an email for this podcast if you wanted to contact me. So it's 3 weeks since I've last recorded. So yeah, it's a little bit been happening in that time. So last time I recorded, I set myself some goals, which were to finish a few projects and work on some other things. So I've got a few finished objects today. A couple of whips that have seen some love, a few new cast-ons, and a few more than a few acquisitions. But there's reasons for most of those. So last time I recorded, I was working on my Lauder cardigan, which you may have spotted. I'm now wearing. I'm just gonna stand up. This is gonna be bit close, but you can see it comes to about just above my hip level, which is longer than I thought I would get it. Because if you've watched before, you'll know that I was playing yarn chicken with this cardigan. So it's knit in a double knit merino that was from, a company called Riverside Knitting that do end of lines. And I literally had the 500 grams and that was it. So what is it? It's the Lauder cardigan by Rebecca Crow of the Creabea. So I knit size 4. What I've not done, you can just see here, I sort of show you it. I haven't put any sort of button band on. I have let it be finished just with a cable, which looks fine, wears fine. However, we did notice last weekend when I was wearing it that it does have a bit of a tendency to drop off my shoulders because it's not got that extra, just those extra 2 fingers on the tops of the shoulders would have just helped hold it on. There's not much more I can do since back in, because as you remember, as I showed last time, I put the cable across the back. But with Mum and I were talking, and there is a little hole just in my pickup, which, yeah, it's my pickup, it's nothing. But we were thinking about whether I just put a little button on there just to hold it. So, yeah, as I say, I used nearly all the 500 grams. I will try and remember to insert a picture here, which actually shows how much was left when I finished doing the sewn bind off at the bottom of the body. And there wasn't enough for another row, so I have used everything. In terms of how much I did after I recorded last time, I think I did about another 22 rows of the patterning and then the rib. Again, if I remember, I'll put another picture in that I've got here, which shows how much of the cardigan was done with the marker that I moved last time. So yeah, it's finished. I've worn it. It feels exactly what I need it to fill in my wardrobe. I was looking for some very neutral cardigans. I've got some beautiful stuff, but quite a lot of the time it's too patterned for the tops I wear or for the dresses I wear. So with this dress today, the grey just fits with the blue really nicely, whereas some of my coloured ones just take away from the top, which isn't great. So yeah, that's where I am with that. Finish that. So that's one finished object, and I say that's the 7th of my 12 cast-ons from Christmas that I have managed to get finished. So just 5 to go. So yeah, next finished object, I think I might have finished, I'd certainly started it all last time. I think I had possibly finished one of the children's socks in this. So this is possibly the one I finished last time, but there are now 2 of those. You can see that one. So we have a pair of children's socks. We then also have, now these are a little bit small for my blockers, I'll be honest, a pair of adult socks. So this pattern, you can just see it there, is the Dusting of Frost socks by Kelly from RowRow and Kades. Sorry, I had to think. So yes, so I did. This is her pattern for her knit along, which finishes in a couple of days. It's the 26th of April today, and I think it finishes on 29th, so I need to get these pictures and photographed and sorted. But yes, so these were my April socks. So we've got the 2 pairs, the adult and the children's. I saw my niece last weekend. Comments about, are those socks for me? Wasn't working on these. I'd finished these before Easter. And the yarn I've used is, I haven't got it here, is from the Yarn Badger, and it was an egg hunt yarn from last year, where one of the minis came with it, and I purchased the second mini separately. So that was the blue and the pink. Because at the time I thought I might have been doing 2 socks for my nieces. It's really interesting how the yarns come up differently. I know this was one end of the yarn, that was the other end of the skein when I wound it. But it was also interesting how the different colour heels and toes bring it out differently as well, which I really enjoyed. So they were my April socks for Amanda from Little Lycax Knit Along of Socks and You Know It. And I say I'm also going to enter those into Kelly from RowRow and Kades Sock Knit Along as well. Just need to get them pictured. So those are 2 of my finished objects. My third finished object, I think I mentioned it in my plans last time, but certainly didn't have it as a started project. And that's a pair of shorty socks for me. So there are 2. This is in the, it's in here, isn't it? The ball band got ripped for these, but it's the King Cole Summer yarn. It's 100 grams. You actually get 250 meters on this yarn. Sorry, 450 meters even. Yeah, it's quite a good size yarn edge. And it's there's summer one is 55% bamboo, 37% cotton, and 8% PBT, which I'm assuming is some sort of nylon. I love this yarn, I'll be honest. Last year I made 3 pairs of socks in this yarn. Of the 3, 1 have come off a bit small. The other 2 I've worn quite a bit. I did find the first pair, they fitted and everything, but they went a bit loose. So I've actually used the everyday sock pattern. You can just see it's got some patterning around the instep area. And that's by Rachel somebody. So I did that with 1 pair last year. This year I've adapted it. So I've taken bits I like from it, left out some of the bits I wasn't so keen on. What I actually want to do is now is give these a wear. Give them a wear, give them a try, see how I get on with them before I do any more. Now, there is actually a fault in the yarn on this ball, which is on this sock here. You can just see this pink to blue is quite a sharp transition, whereas everywhere else it's gentle transitions. And that's because there was a knot. I'm not fussed. This is the socks, not matching pairs. I already have a pair of the socks in this yarn, so this is my second pair out of 1 ball. And I think I've got about 12 grams left of that ball, which I have got a plan for. And we'll come to that in a bit. So yeah, another pair of socks finished that kind of weren't expected, but having the dusting and frost ones really quickly became apparent they weren't going to be suitable in my handbag, which is why I then cast those on to be in my handbag and have those. So yeah, 3 finished projects. Really pleased to have got that done. So I then last time said there were some whips that I really wanted to focus on, wanted to give myself some deadlines on. The first of those, I'll take this one, is the cardigan I'm knitting. So this is the King Cole 5732, where I've omitted this button bit at the side because I'm not fussed that. And I put my own pattern on it because why knit what's on the page? So I'm using the numbers, I'm using the lengths. This hasn't been blocked yet because I finished it yesterday. And we'll talk about why I was doing lots of knitting yesterday in a bit. But this is the left front. Last time you saw it, I was here. So I'd just done this first purple row. And as I say, we now have, if I lean back a bit, you can see the entire front section. It is a pieced garment. What I've done with the back is block it. So I will probably block this piece now. Take that marker off, give this a block. so that when I'm sewing them together, I'm sewing them together blocked, because it's just going to make life easier. So yeah, and I haven't cast the next one on, front on yet. That's probably the next thing I'm going to do today. Yeah, we'll see how I feel. But we'll get there. Then I did say I really needed to focus on this baby blanket as well that I was doing for a friend's daughter. Baby is due in June. So you may remember the blanket. It's the white and grey entrelac that's quite a long blanket. And last time I saw you, I'd just done this white square where I've got the marker. And that's the last square of that row. So I'd done one row of triangles and one row of grey squares. We now have another row of grey squares, another row of white squares, final row of grey squares, and a row of white squares. So hopefully you could see all of that. Hold it to the side, you can see all that there. It looks quite nice at the side. So I say final row, there's more to do. I think I need another 2 rows of grey squares, 1 row of white squares, and the white triangles at the top. So 4 more rows. Yeah, again, so I need to carry on working on this, because baby's going to come. Baby will come regardless of whether I get the blanket done or not. Baby won't care. I want it done. I know my friend's mum has knit some cardigans. She's also my friend. They're both friends of mine. Which are quite small. I'd like to get a Howligan done, but I will not start that. Ideally until I finish this. Whether that'll happen, I might start it sooner. I'll go into that in a bit. But yes, so I have made really good progress when I look at it like that and think, well, I've done 2 rows of grey squares, 2 rows of white squares since I last recorded. So in 3 weeks, I've done 4 rows. Can I get another 4 rows done in the next 3 weeks? So I'm at the edging stage next time? Possibly. Might depend a bit on when I actually record. Because I'm trying to record on a Friday evening and it's Saturday afternoon today. We'll go into that in life in a bit. But yeah. So yeah, I've got on with that, which I'm pleased at. I need to carry on working off it. It is sitting out as a focus project to try and work on it. So then I said about a couple of other projects I was working on. That's the only other one, isn't it? Yeah. Another project I wanted to do some work on was my mini a day blanket. So last time I showed you, I think I had 5 or 6 squares done. So there's now 11 squares on here, and I'll show every one that has a stitch marker on wasn't done last time. So actually that one was done. That one wasn't. That was. That wasn't. That wasn't. That wasn't. That one was. And that's the last one. So, yeah. So there's 11 on there. And there's a reason why there's only 11 on there. And that's because, this is really endy at the moment, I have started to join the blanket together. So you can see how the top line's going to go with a zigzag. That one up. Because of the slightly bigger squares than I did last time, the zigzag's slightly bigger. But you see, so I've done the green square, and then I've done the orange square, and the pink square. So the idea will be, I've got the rest of the, well, there's 3 there. I've got another 11 squares to do to finish February. Yeah, we're in the end of April, but it's February. So I've got 10 more to do to finish this row, which will then putting these on. So the reason these are not in the order of whether you've seen them or not is because they're actually in the order I want to put them onto the blanket. I laid everything out and did it. So my goal will be to try and get February finished probably in the next 3 weeks, if I can manage 4 squares a week. 3 or 4 squares a week, and I'll get it done. So my goal, I think, is going to be 4 squares a week on this, which isn't a lot. And if I get more done, I get more done. But I don't want to overwhelm, get swamped with it, and then not want to work on it. So yeah, that's that one. Sorry, I'm gonna just have to have a quick drink. So that's that one. So that's what I've worked on from my actual projects. Okay. Yeah, so as I say, there was a few cast-ons. First one being the one that's finished. And second thing I cast on, I've mentioned before that I've had, sorry if this rustles, the Mouse Switch Mini a Day, no, Mystery Mini Club. This is a Mystery Mini Club. So this is the box from January. So you can see there's two mini skeins scanned up. There's also, you can just see a few bits there, and my 3mm crochet hook. The reason you can see some bits, and I said last time, is I wanted to do the hexagons. So I had a go. The pattern I'd got was for chunky yarn. I not really realised that, but worked out that I could make the hexagons. They were the hexagon style I wanted, so I just made it bigger. I've ended up making 4 hexagons in each of the minis. So there's 4 green, 4 of those, and 4 of those. So I think I'm going to have 20 or 21 hexagons per month. The reason I say possibly 21 is I have some bits left from each one. What I want to do when I've finished all 5 mini skeins is weigh how much is left of each, of all the 5 together, and see, because these do fade. I mean, the green doesn't fade, but you sort of see that the blue would fade into the pink, and blue which would fade into the solid pink, which would fade into the pink and green, which would fade into the green. So my thought is, if I can, I'll put that box on the floor before I lose it. I'd like to be able to possibly do one that has got all 5 colours. So that by the end of the year I will have 240 plus hexagons, which I can then decide how I want to age as a blanket. This is the first month I've worked up. As I said, I was ordering the spring set, which is March, April and May. I've been waiting on payday. I have done that. I've got them. They haven't been caked up. It's only the winter ones I've caked up so far. So yeah, we'll see. So that's the first thing I cast on and went with. So the second thing was socks, and I've got one other cast on, which was, I think I mentioned it a few videos ago, I'd got planned, and I have now cast on. And I only did this yesterday, so it's very early stages. So this is a gradient cake I've got. So you can see it that way, and then the other side's got a brighter pink. And this is from Rosie's Moments. It was in the reduced bin when I bought it, and we've just got the start of a Musselburgh hat. So I've done all my increases, worked out my gauge, done all the work for that, which tells you to do the pattern. I'm about to start knitting straight. This might be going in my handbag for a bit. I'm not quite sure which way I'm going to go, but I'm thinking it might go in my handbag for a bit. Certainly when I go away at the end of May, going to the beach, it'd be great to sit and do at the beach because it's just knit round in a circle. And I'm going to need, I'm not even doing magic loop now. I am literally going to be knitting around in a circle because I've got the 40cm cable attached. I've used 2.75mm needles. It's a 4-ply yarn. I went for that because I tend to be a bit of a loose knitter. So I thought I'd rather knit it on a slightly tighter needle than have a gapey hat. We'll see. I might change my mind. If I do more, I might do it on a different gauge. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. So put that back there. In fact, they need to go over there because then we come to acquisitions. Yeah. There's a bit here. So I'm going to start this bag. Actually, my sister gave me for Easter and I've just used it. So first off, I mentioned this in the last one. Oh gosh, it's got my dress on so I can't show you it. And this is my April mini days from Cuddlebums. So we've got the inspiration picture again. This is 30 colours. I have just put them onto a stitch holder roughly, just so that it made it a bit easier for me to keep them. There's also another cassette and a couple of stickers in the box, so at least a sticker. And as I say, that's all the colours, which will be going onto the mini day blanket eventually. I say eventually because I've got not finished February, I've got March still to do. And May's just been paid for, so yeah, I'm really could do with getting on with it. But as I say, I don't want to overwhelm myself. It'll get done when it gets done. So that's that one. Now I had a bit of a panic with my Truly Hooked cardigan, this one, which I know I talked about the yarns last time, or at one point, that this grey yarn is an Emma's yarn that I'd got reduced. I had 4 skeins of it, thought beautiful, be fine. I've got 4 skeins of the colour, it'd be absolutely fine. However, when I was doing the back panel, I used 1.5 skeins and was a bit, I've only got 4. If I use 1.5 on the back, that's another 1.5, and that's 3 just in the back and the fronts. Before I get to any bands around the edge or any of that, before I do the sleeves, I had a good look around online, and unfortunately there wasn't anyone in the UK selling it, or there's someone who sells the Emma's yarn. She wasn't going to be having more of this colour. She'd had it on sale, it wasn't coming back, this cotton merino. So I probably over ordered because I was like, don't want to just order one. If I'm ordering from the States, it's going to be expensive. I want to be ordering enough that I've got enough of the cardigan. So I did order 3 more. I don't think I'm going to need all 3 because actually I haven't finished the second one on that front. There's not much left, but yeah. But I thought, no, I've got some, because it's hand dyed though, I'm a bit wary about dye lots. So my plan with it is to do the other front, get both fronts blocked, do the neckband and the button bands possibly before I do sleeve, possibly not quite sure on that, but I'll be doing them simultaneously because there'll be different size needles once I get past everything. So yeah, so that I can make sure that I've got the same grey on the fronts, and if this new one is used, it's just on the sleeves because it'll be less obvious. So yeah, that's that. But when I was ordering from Emma's yarn, I put 3 I wanted the cotton merino in, and it didn't come into enough for free postage. When I looked at what the postage was going to be, it's pricey. So then I looked at the other yarns she had and worked out that it was cheaper to buy an extra skein of yarn, well, not cheaper necessarily, but I could have a skein of yarn which took me over the free postage, and I was like, well, I'd rather have yarn than pay just postage, thank you. So that's what I've got. It's this one, and it's her Hella Hank, yeah, which is 150 gram skein, and it's 600 yards, and it's merino, cashmere and nylon, 80-10-10, and this colourway is called Down the Rabbit Hole, and it's such my colours anyway. I love it. Don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's 4-ply, it's finger and weight. It'll get used at some point. Being a slightly bigger skein, it might become a shawl, might become a cowl. Not 100%. I've got a few vague ideas, but nothing definite with it at the moment. And as I say, yeah, you just look at the colours in it and it's just gorgeous. So there was a reason for buying that. Got one more in here, and then I've got a couple of other bits. So as I say, last weekend was Easter in the UK, and I did go up and spend the weekend with my mum, sisters and nieces. And as I think I've said before, one of my close friends lives quite close to my mum, so I'd messaged her beforehand, said, oh, I'm up over the weekend if you want to meet up at some point. She didn't get back to me till about Easter Saturday, I think. I know it was over the weekend she got back to me, and it was like, oh, well, no, I'm going back Monday, you know, it's not a lot of time. And And at that point, I was like, but I do need to pop into Black Sheep Wool's on the way back because I was going to be running short of yarn on the baby blanket. I knew that I wasn't going to have enough white or grey, and something else I wanted some more of the cotton soft. So, okay, well, let's just do coffee that morning. So we did coffee on Monday morning. And one of my other friends I've not seen for ages came with her husband as well. So just a really nice chat, get together. While I was there, I got the white I wanted for the baby blanket. Unfortunately, it's sold out of the grey. So one trip to eBay later, I found someone selling it, and I've got some coming. That's not very exciting because it's just silver cotton soft. Yeah, not very exciting. But they had a sale on while I was there, and I'm a bit of a sucker for a sale. Say that, I was really good. I didn't buy any more yarn packs. They had several out that were tempting me. There was quite a bit in the individual balls, and I was like, oh, I could just have that, and that, and that, and that. I didn't. I bought one ball of yarn, apart from, well, I bought two in total. One ball of white cotton soft, and this, which is James C. Brett Funny Feet. And this was in the colourway FZB17. So there we are. It's going to stripe. When I'll knit it, who knows? But yeah, just some stripy top yarn. And as I say, it was reduced. It was either £4.99 or £5.99. I can't remember which. I haven't got a receipt, so. But yeah, so it was reduced. And I was just like, yeah, striping sock yarn's reduced. I've not got a lot of commercial sock yarn left. I've used a lot of it from various things. So yeah. So yeah, that's most of what's coming. No, it's not. Let's be honest, it's not. So, I'm a bit of a bugger, particularly if I'm stressed at work, scrolling on Instagram. And following from what I said last time, the last few weeks have been a little bit stressful with everything and with dates and everything going on. And I noticed, again, I have to be careful I open this because it's got my address on it, that Cuddlebums was doing some Easter boxes and she'd got a sale on. So, I was like, ooh. Sorry, it's got rustling because it's got... I've never knitted with the neon neps. And I'd looked at this. And so this is from Cuddlebums. Actually, as you can see, it's got the neon neps in it. And it's Where's My Unicorn? So, it's 85 superwash merino, 15 Donegal nep. It does say sock, but I'm actually thinking this would make a gorgeous Musselburgh hat. If I got on with this one, it'll make a gorgeous Musselburgh hat. If I don't, it'll get on, then it'll probably become a sock head slouch. But I'm just thinking a hat. Probably not for me, probably for my nieces. Which might mean a sock head slouch so that I can get two hats out of it. Because if I make one, I have something like called Where's My Unicorn, I will get grommet from the other one. But then, yeah, we'll see. So yeah, so I got that. And that was just in sale. And then she was doing these Easter boxes, mystery boxes. So there was no guarantee on what you'd get. So I have opened some bits out of this, sorry. Because I had to be nosy. This was the box. I'll move that, you can see a little bit more of what's in there. So this had something in it. No, it doesn't have anything in there now, does it? Sorry, I'm rustling as well. Okay. So we've got one skein of Aqua Rainbow, which is merino nylon, and it's actually sparkle, it says. Yeah, it's got sparkling as well. So it's the blue rainbow. You can use that. It's got nylon in it. It could be socks, it could be whatever. We've then got this little carrot. It's a gorgeous little carrot with his little rabbit. You can just see his rabbit stitch marker there. And he's got a little label. It tells you 10 5-gram minis in here, which is great. Take them out. You can see. Well, these can either be extras in my blankets or some accents, but there's also quite a few solid colours in there. You can just see them, which might actually be really useful in the blanket. So that's where they're heading. Something's just fallen. Sorry, I really didn't want to see my headbutt off. So then there's a couple of stitch markers. There's a gorgeous little rainbow heart. This is going to behave on a flower. That's actually a bag charm rather than a stitch marker. So yeah, use those. And then there's this gorgeous little rabbit. Just see him there. You can just see he's full of mini skeins and he's got a couple of Easter stickers in him. You might only have one because I think it came open and I think there's the other one. Some Easter egg stickers. And there's a few sweet treats in there as well, which, yeah, I can enjoy. I'll show you. So yeah, I'm a bit of a sucker. I love the idea of a mystery box. Most people know that's how you get me a steal from your mystery. Sometimes I go for it, sometimes I won't, but I just think I really like that. So that's most of what well, up till last weekend, that's all I'd purchased. Yeah. So my nieces and I, we have a bit of a tradition that I make them a garment for Christmas. So it's not a Christmas jumper, but they will have a jumper or a cardigan as their present at Christmas. So the older one, who is now 7, excuse me, and don't ask where that time's gone because I don't know. For the last 2 years, she's been allowed to choose what she wants. The first year that went really well. She saw a really nice cardigan she liked that's got a rainbow yoke and it's all garter stitch. Just, yeah, she enjoyed it, likes it, she wears that. Last year she was adamant she wanted a pink jumper with yellow flower. I made it. I used a proper wool because it was something that had been donated to me, which I don't think she likes particularly. I mean, I'd made a point of making the neckband in the acrylic that the yellow was, so it was softer. She struggles to wear it because she finds it thick, heavy. She doesn't like it. She likes the jumper. She really wants to like the jumper. She doesn't like the experience of it. So her and I were having a bit of a talk on Saturday. Just the two of us sat. And I was like, well, you know, do you want something this year for Christmas? And she's adamant she still does. Okay. So we talked about some of the ones she's had, and the one she really liked was a pure merino jumper. Don't ask, idiot auntie knits in pure merino for my whole hair. I have trained my sister how to wash them. And in fact, she actually got a bottle of soak last year because I was like, look, please be gentle with it. And that jumper lasted, well, I say it was made slightly big. She wore it for a good 1.5, 2 years. And I was like, the sleeves are coming up your arm. But she's adamant it fitted everywhere else. She was still wearing it. And in fact, I made the sleeves longer. She still wore it. It has now got too small. And she's had to admit that. And it was like, well, you can have another rainbow one. You know, what would you like? And she's feels a bit beyond rainbows without being too negative. So anyway, then I was showing her some pictures of various things. And she really likes the colours of my Really Hooked cardigan. And I did the patterning on her sister's cardigan a couple of years ago. So yeah, so I was like, well, you like those colours? Okay, we'll have a look. Now, it happened that Verity at Really Hooked had a sale on. I had one set, let's open this box so I can show you, of them left. So these are the 4 Advent skeins for last year, which is what I've got in double knit that I'm making into my jumper or my cardigan. These are the merino singles because that's what she had left. So they are the 100% merino my niece liked. They are superwash merino. I'm possibly going to put it with sock yarn neutral to do the patterning. She was talking about cream, but I'm not 100% whether it'll be cream. I might. see what she thinks when she sees mine. But yeah, so I did buy that. However, it is Christmas present knitting. It's not for me, it's for Christmas presents. Because I can see her sister wanting the same cardigan. Because she's outgrown hers. I really like that cardigan. She doesn't officially get her say this year. Officially, she's got to wait another year. However, I'm probably going to say to her, would she like this cardigan or this cardigan? Give her 2 choices. Because, as I say, she will be 5 by Christmas. But because she's a September birthday, she's that bit later in the year compared to her older sister who's a January birthday. So didn't get to say till she was nearly 6. So, yeah. So that's, yes, I purchased it, but it is ready for Christmas knitting at some point. I know I talked last time about the jumper for Mum, and I haven't done anything with that yet. Saying that, there is a plan for that. So we're going away as a family at the end of May, the bank holiday, second bank holiday in May. We're going away for that weekend. And while we're away, the plan is to take everything for that jumper and make a start on it, basically. While she's there, she can look at it, decide whether size-wise how it's going to fit and things. Just gives me that bit of options. And because it's pieced in hot weather, it's not going to be so bad. So yeah, my other plans. Well, obviously it will be the 1st of May this week. Sorry, you can really see where the dye got on my scalp by the hairdresser earlier. So I will be pulling from the sock box. What one I'm going to pull? But I'll be having a pull from the sock box. And that will be on, I want to say Thursday. So yeah. The baby blanket, as I say, I am going to be recording in 3 weeks' time. Having looked at my diary and some of the stuff that's going on, I feel that actually I'm struggling a little bit doing every 2 weeks. Just over the next few months, with everything going on in the summer, I've got various trips, guide stuff going on at weekends, and stuff going on. So yeah, it's going to be every 3 weeks. So I'd like, when I record in 3 weeks' time, to have done the 3 rows of squares. If I've done the row of triangles as well, I'll be amazed, but at least to have done the 3 rows of squares. My Truly Hooked cardigan, again, I would really like to have both fronts done and blocked, be working on a sleeve, and also have the neckband in and be working on the button bands, because I'm not going to do the button bands as shown. So the pattern, yeah, I'll be doing the neck as shown. These button bands, instead of ribbing them, I'm going to do a double knit button band, because that's what I like to wear. And I just think with the pattern I've got on the cardigan, I think it will look better with a smoother button band at the edges. So yeah, I'd like to say the other front done, neckband done, working on button bands, working on sleeve as a minimum. I'm giving myself a lot to do again. We'll see. In terms of socks, as I say, I'll be putting the yarn in beginning of May. I have bought the Secret Sock Society Collection 6 from Helen Stewart. The first pattern again drops on the 1st of May. So it'll depend on what that pattern is as to whether my monthly socks become that pattern or not. If they do, great. But it may then not be handbag suitable. I said I'd got several of the King Cole Summer yarns. And in fact, as I said, I bought 5 different colourways last year because I really like them. And I'd like to get some more of those knitted up as well. Having adapted the everyday sock pattern, this is the first time I've adapted it. I want to wash and wear those a couple of times, make sure I'm comfortable with them. However, I have pulled out another ball of it. So, and I knit this up on 2mm needles because I find it slightly finer. So I've pulled out this colourway from Summer Socks. So there's it knitted up. And this is Iris. Just sit on there, hopefully. So yeah, I may cast these on, I may not. I may wait till I've done the others. I'm a bit unsure on that at the moment. So yeah, by the time I record in 3 weeks' time, I've hopefully got the second row of that blanket finished. The baby blanket, at least 3 rows in, so I'm just about to do triangles. Other front of my cardigan and neck and button bands. And finished January's hexagons. That's 8 hexagons, it's not a lot. And I will admit, I tend to use the hexagons as a bit of a palette cleanser at the end of the evening when I just need something simple, or I've worked on something a bit more complex. They're a bit of a thinking project at times. So yeah, life, as I said, I was up at my family last weekend. We had a really good time. Her nieces were bouncing everywhere. The young one was trying to nick at the socks I was making. Yeah, I met up with my friend, which was great. I'm saying I meant to record yesterday. Unfortunately, whether it's from them, whether it's from somebody at work, I don't know. But I got a bog and I couldn't have recorded yesterday because I couldn't have sat for this long. However, feeling a lot better today, and yeah, I'll be back Monday at work, hopefully. Did mean I actually, I sat in bed and knitted on the cardigan, and that's why I ended up starting the Musselburgh as well, because I was like, I just need something nice to knit. I just want something nice. I've got so much started, but no, I just saw it and I was like, no, I'm going to do it. Don't care. Where I'm feeling, I don't care. So yeah, plans to that's probably going to take a bit of a backseat, but I'd like to get on with it. So yeah, that's what's been going on with me life wise. Next weekend I've got a friend visiting, so probably won't be a lot of knitting time over the weekend, but there is a grace, so who knows, because Grand Prix are great for knitting too. And then yeah, just other things carry on as normal. Since I recorded last, I've managed to swim twice, so just for accountability, I'm going to say that I'm going to manage 3 swims this time before I record again. Not a lot, but I want to give myself a goal. Just 3 indoor swims is what I'm going to go for. I haven't been at knit group that much. A lot of that's just because my head's not been in it and I've not been in a place mentally to go. So I'm hoping to get back to knitting groups this week. But I don't want to promise anything because I know my head's not been in great places. So yeah. So yeah, hope everyone else stays well. Hope everyone's knitting and crochet is going well, and you keep well in yourselves and enjoy what you're up to. I'll be back again, as I say, in 3 weeks' time. In the meantime, please, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe to the channel if you've not, because all these things help the YouTube algorithm promote my channel, and it'd be great to have a few more subscribers. At the moment, I've not got very many, and I'm going to say if we get up to 50, then yeah, I've got some yarn tucked away as a giveaway. So let's say if I get to 50 subscribers, we'll have a giveaway. So I'll see you in a few weeks. Bye.